Hey, you listen to Wrestling Roundup for FreeFM 89.0. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hi.
It's a little, it's not even early, it's a little late in the Arvo for Josh, but we'll get through it. We'll get through the show this week, because Easter. Let's start with the injuries. So, Shane McMahon. Is he out? Is he in?
I guess in because they announced the match on SmackDown, I think.
That's what got me. They announced the match, the tag team match that everyone was expecting, Shane and Bryan versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But dude's pretty messed up right now, 2 weeks before.
I guess the thing we need to think about is well, there goes this Shane McMahon crazy spot.
Yeah, pretty much. I am still of the mind that Shane might not make it to this match. A lot
It's very possible, and somebody might replace him during WrestleMania. I kind of like the idea of that, though, is that you're not absolutely sure if Shane is going to be in the match or not. I really hope that they just keep that as a giant question mark, so that if he does come out, yay. If not, then somebody else comes out in Daniel's defense.
Yeah.
And that's a bigger yay.
Yeah, I think it's
depending on who it is.
Yeah, definitely leaving that element of surprise is perfectly fine, and would, as you say, make it for a more exciting moment to bring out his replacement than on one SmackDown next week. Just be like, he's not going to make it. His replacement's this guy. It would definitely make it a more grandiose, especially if it's a return. I know there's a couple of people waiting in the wings. So
yeah,
yeah.
I know a lot of rumors are that Samoa Joe is supposed to be Braun's partner. I'd like to see him be Shane's replacement.
So would I. I still want Braun's partner to be someone funny.
Yeah, that's what I'd like. Because I can't imagine anybody actually beating Samoa Joe and Braun if they are the tag team champions.
Yeah. I don't know, I don't see Braun as the cooperating type. I feel like the only way he can have a tag team is going to be a dominant, submissive type relationship. There's no, like, oh, we are good enough friends to keep competing with these championships. It's going to need to be someone like Kurt Hawkins or Elias that he just beats up. Gotta be. And well, the other injury, it caused minor shockwaves, but then everything got clarified and we got a little smoothed over. Charlotte wasn't able to make it to SmackDown.
Yeah, I actually think this is a kayfabe injury.
Okay.
Because they were set to face Asuka and The Miz in that mixed match tag thing. So I'm thinking that they did this angle so Asuka and Charlotte would not be in the ring at the same time before WrestleMania.
When is the final?
I do not know.
Because they hosted a vote to see who would be their replacement. So Bobby Roode and Becky Lynch ended up defeating Finn Balor and Sasha Banks. So the final just says week 12. So I'm going to assume is next week. It still lists Charlotte Flair as competing. That she was only off for 1 week. So theoretically, Asuka Charlotte is still happening next week. Theoretically.
But I do think it's very interesting that the United States Championship and the Intercontinental Championship are represented in this match. And then you have the women's main event represented as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. I don't know. I feel like the Mixed Match Challenge has been a lot funner than everybody's expected it to be. Everybody's just, let a load off and had fun with the whole thing. Even if I fully expect Asuka to win because they make so many references to the fact that if she loses, her streak's gone. So they're never going to let that happen. Despite the fact that she's lost matches before, just not... That's a whole nother kettle of fish. Charlotte, dental injury, will be back, not missing WrestleMania is the important headline. Nothing huge. It was pretty scary when Charlotte injured is the headline that pops up, 1 week before Mania.
Yeah,
because we're really in this home stretch now where you're just crossing your fingers nobody gets injured.
It definitely would be the wrong time, that's for sure. Not that there's a right time for an injury ever.
True.
Although there's definitely ones that you should never happen.
Let's all just wrestle like the Miz for a week, okay, guys? Nice and safe. Although Brock Lesnar is, according to YouTube, brutalizing an injured Roman Reigns, but I feel like it's a different kind of injury.
That was a pretty brutal beatdown. For the second consecutive week.
So is Reigns going to be at the go home?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Going to be in a wheelchair and a full body cast?
No, he'll come out, and this time he'll get his, over on Brock.
But the person who stands tall on the go home never wins.
Unless your name's Roman Reigns.
There's always an exception to every rule. I before except after Roman Reigns. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that match. But a lot of what happened on Raw and SmackDown is just builds towards the WrestleMania matches that we already know about.
I personally think that next week they need to announce, because of the escalation and everything between Roman and Braun and Brock, that they need to announce that the match is now a no holds barred match, or Falls Count Anywhere, or anything that's not a normal match.
Because we don't have any of those on the card yet, do we?
Except for the triple threats.
True, yeah. But no traditionally weapons-based matches. No cage, no chamber, cell, no DQs, barred, all this extra stuff. None of them. Yeah, I think that'd be an interesting aspect to add, just to... It's clear that this is going to be a brutal fight, so not limiting it is definitely one way to go with it, I think. Matt Hardy, for the now, will be in the Battle Royal.
With some new music, too.
Which you'll be hearing a little bit later on.
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually went back and rewatched The Ultimate Deletion.
Okay.
And actually, I found something that I did not notice the first time I watched it.
Shoot.
And that was the, when Rebby Sky was playing the piano, she was playing Gray's theme.
Yeah.
I didn't actually catch that the first time.
Yeah, it's super subtle. It's really hard to tell with piano covers of themes as well. But yeah, I want to think that's what she also did in TNA. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it just adds that extra element. The Ultimate Deletion is full of those. I'm sure there's going to be ones that we won't notice for like a week, or 2, or a month. Or something for like a future thing, and then you look back at it and you're like, oh, that happened. But one feud that you definitely won't get that with, Sasha Bailey. Get your butt in the Battle Royal.
Yeah, they'll be in the Battle Royal, but that was a neat little segment where they did in a locker room, an actual locker room.
I look forward to their match at... I forget the next pay-per-view. I look forward
Backlash.
At Backlash. Actually, no, I don't trust WWE to not waste the match at Greatest Royal Rumble, so I look forward to
it's not going to happen at Greatest Royal Rumble.
Is that only title matches?
No, there's not going to be any women there.
Yep, that's right. I forgot.
It's...
baby steps. Baby steps. There's some good matches already set for that, but that is another discussion to be had, not around now when we're trying to squish everything in. That's sticking around. John Cena, he battled Kane a little bit. Still wants The Undertaker. Is The Undertaker going to show up?
Yep.
But, hear me out. What if he doesn't? What if he just doesn't?
Then you would have wasted 4 weeks for John Cena with no point to it.
But he could just not. Just put John Cena in the Battle Royal and just move on. And everything's honky-dory. Except for the fact that it won't be. And The Undertaker will appear. The question is, will he appear at the go-home or will he appear at WrestleMania?
Yeah, he'll have to answer to the... He may not show up in person. Very similar to when he answered Bray's challenge.
Yeah.
He may be nothing more than just a lightning strike with a message on the video board. Says, I accept, I'll see you at WrestleMania. Something like that.
Yeah. I definitely expect something like that where he will accept it. As much as I am not super happy about it, I also must accept it. And I must accept that is the way we're going. Andre Battle Royal. We also got Ziggler, Breeze, and Fandango. Are there any potential winners there? Fashion Police win the Battle Royal?
That's It's possible, but
To me, the one that I really wanted to win the Battle Royal is now busy. Rusev has found his way into the US title match.
maybe we'll have Rusev Day at WrestleMania.
I'ma cross my fingers. Fatal 4-way, anything can happen. Rusev wins the championship, we all celebrate. Confetti rains down. Russian flag drops from the sky. No, we don't do that anymore?
No, it would be Bulgarian anyway.
Didn't they do Russia for ages?
Yeah, but he's not from Russia anymore.
Oh yeah, we decided he's not Russian anymore. That's right, yep.
Yeah, he went back to being Bulgarian.
He went back to being from the country that he's actually from. Yep, gotcha. Did they do it? I think they did it with the Bulgarian flag at one point, right? Was that at the tail end?
Might have been.
I'm seeing one account with the Bulgarian flag, and that's it. But yeah, I don't see a flag dropping at any point. Much as I'd love to see Rusev celebrate. Maybe a Rusev Day flag. There you go. But yeah, to me that opens up who's going to win this Battle Royal now. And I don't know if any of the people announced for the match are going to win it. They're not my favorites. But we'll wait and see.
It's going to be Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, you keep saying that. Wins the Battle Royal and is Braun Strowman's partner, you know. Gets a trophy and the Raw Tag Team Championships. Great night for him.
Yeah, he ends his streak in one spectacular fashion.
I'll put that down in the dreams column.
Yes. That's a good idea.
Just never pay attention to it. We did get the triple threat tag team match for the SmackDown tag team titles that we expected to get. The Usos versus the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. Is it the Bludgeon Brothers Day?
I think so, but it's very possible the Usos may retain just so they can have their WrestleMania moment. But I think we all know it's going to be on the main card.
Oh.
So they finally get that.
It better be, I think, is the only thing there. It may be the opener, but I also could see the Women's Battle Royal being the opener, so don't quite know match order just yet. We'll have to wait and see. But the Usos had better be on the main card. That's all. Full stop. There's nothing extra to that sentence.
Or I would not blame the Usos for walking out if they aren't.
You can't make it a central point of the feud and then not deliver. Well, they can because they're WWE, but they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, I think we talked about it already. Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. It's a tag match. It's going to happen. Whether Shane's there or not, iffy. We'll wait and see. Personally, I don't believe he will.
We'll see. But this is definitely going to test Daniel Bryan, that's for sure. And his cleared status.
He's going to take a beating. Yeah. It should be good. I'm fingers crossed that Daniel Bryan's going to come into this like a bat out of hell. A safe bat out of hell. Let me clarify on that point. And is able to deliver a really good match.
Yeah. And from what I understand, he will be tested after every match.
That seems fair.
I fully expect that on the Tuesday after WrestleMania, he will formally resign as general manager of SmackDown.
And then do we get a certain tag team aficionado or a certain real American to replace him? Because personally, I like Jack Swagger.
No.
We get something more mundane.
I wouldn't know who would be the new SmackDown general manager after Daniel.
I think there's a lot of options, and I want to sit around and see who it's going to be.
But I do think that Daniel Bryan's tenure as the SmackDown general manager is about over now that he can actually wrestle.
Yep. As soon as that announcement came through, I assumed general manager would be gone by WrestleMania. Simple as that. Alright, well, we better get onto the song so we can still do an NXT TakeOver preview on the other side. So, as we said earlier, it is Matt Hardy's theme, his brand new theme, called the Deletion Anthem. And you're back to Wrestling Roundup. FreeFM 9.0, Grady and Josh. NXT TakeOver, New Orleans. We got 4 matches. Some of them may be slightly spoilery, but this will air after the next week, so I'ma just go with it. If you really hate spoilers, it's pretty much going to be this until the end of the show. So we had the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic again this year. We got through the first round, we got through the semi-finals. It was only 8 teams. But earlier on, there was meant to be the team of Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. But I believe Tyler Bate got injured, and they ended up getting replaced by the team of Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. They've made it to the finals. That's an interesting team to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that. Who's on the other side? War Machine?
The Authors of Pain.
Oh. Well, Authors of Pain won it last year, so...
Now, so I'll catch you up. So the Authors of Pain on their way defeated TM61 and the Street Profits. They're in the finals. Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong beat Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan and Sanity on their way in. The finals were the Authors of Pain versus Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. The Undisputed Era interfered in that match, and now we have a triple threat tag team match at NXT TakeOver for the NXT Tag Team Championships and the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Trophy between the Undisputed Era, the Authors of Pain, and Roderick Strong Pete Dunne.
Okay, that makes more sense. Because I couldn't see the same team winning it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see a team they just slapped together because of injury winning it. So I was like, okay, I don't know who's going to win this.
So Undisputed Era retain the championships and win the trophy that they weren't even in the tournament for?
Because why not?
Wouldn't be the first time something like that's happened. I definitely think the Undisputed Era is holding on to the championships, and if that means that they take the trophy, then they take the trophy. I see the Authors of Pain heading up to the main roster before too long, so I'm not going to give them the championships. And as you said, Roderick Strong, Pete Dunne, still, they were slapped together. I believe there's still question marks. Okay, I had to double check here. There's question marks about Bobby Fischer's medical status. I believe he is ruled out. He is not scheduled for NXT TakeOver New Orleans. I cannot recall what injury he has, but he has been injured. So the tag team for Undisputed Era that will be fighting in this match is scheduled to be Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly.
Good thing Adam Cole's not fighting for the NXT Championship.
You forget a prior announcement, because Adam Cole will also be in a ladder match for the inaugural NXT North American Championship.
Oh, he's... Hello, double duty!
There is 4 matches on this card. Adam Cole is working in 50% of them. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, if there's going to be some shifty happening, but I have heard rumblings of Roderick Strong joining the Undisputed Era. That
could be how they retain the titles, and not only that, but also when it would also allow Cole to go and be in that NXT North American title match. I would actually propose that they do it similar to how Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes first formed.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it, or if they even do it. I think it's an interesting thing. I think Undisputed Era need to bump up to 3 members. So taking Roddy in there to replace Bobby, it's fine. They have the history, so it sort of makes sense in terms of that. Roderick Strong ain't doing all too much. And Pete Dunne is always beat up by the Undisputed Era, so it's a bit of a stab in the back for him to leave him. And then the Authors of Pain obviously just sitting in the middle, but they can be overcome. So I think that's the direction that goes. I think Undisputed Era retain via Roderick Strong joining their ranks in some way. Now that North American Championship, it's an interesting match, because buckle yourself in, this thing is going to be good. So it is a 6-man ladder match. This is where it went. It wasn't on WrestleMania, it's on NXT this year. For the NXT North American Championship between Velveteen Dream, Lars Sullivan, Killian Dane, Adam Cole, baby, EC3, and Ricochet.
Damn! There's so many... I'm like, okay, I want Velveteen Dream. Oh, no, I want...
Dane?
Yeah, I want Dane to win. Oh, wait, no, I want Ricochet to win!
This match is... honestly, I don't know much about Lars, but I'm going to say that everybody but Lars has a chance to win.
Lars is the really big guy that they've been pushing forever.
So everybody in this match has a chance to win.
Yeah. Yeah, Lars Sullivan is that Dylan Miley that they're really high on.
Yeah, I saw him, I think, at Philadelphia. I think he had a match.
Yeah.
I think that's all
Yeah,
I've seen from.
they're really high on him.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So which of these 6 is going to walk out with the title? And good luck.
As long as it's not Ethan Carter III, I'm fine.
No, EC3 is great. What are you talking about?
I'm not a fan.
Honestly, I think it might be. I'm not sure. The question here comes down to: do you want one of your big monsters, Dane or Lars, to lose? Do you want one of your debuts, EC3 or Ricochet, to lose? Velveteen can probably afford to lose because he's still got a little bit of that momentum coming off the Black feud. Adam Cole theoretically could have already been involved in a tag team championship match depending on match order. I think it's probably going to go to EC3 or Ricochet in terms of a debut win. I'm leaning towards Ricochet.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. I'd actually be extremely happy with Velveteen Dream.
The only thing that's making me lean against Ricochet is that I have heard murmurs of Cruiserweight coming up quicker than sticking in NXT, so I don't know. If I was picking purely on who I want, I'd pick Killian Dane. No questions asked. He's my favourite out of that lot, but I don't think he's odds-on favour to win the championship. So who are you picking to win, knowing that we don't actually score this pick?
I'm going with Velveteen Dream.
Okay. NXT Women's Championship, Ember Moon, Shayna Baszler. Is Ember going to lose it?
I'm going with Shayna Baszler to win.
Yeah, I think Ember barely scraped through in Philadelphia, and Baszler has shown that that was a slip-up, and that she is much more physical than a lot of the people. The question to me is that Kairi Sane has slipped herself into this feud, has interrupted rematches before, called out people. Baszler has beaten Kairi Sane clean one-on-one to end it, but that's still floating about. Baszler has also attacked Dakota Kai and quote-unquote injured her arm. So I don't know if Ember Moon's title might be saved by the barrage of women that Baszler has annoyed coming on out to help her. That's I think the only thing that can save Ember Moon's title. Because if this is a straight up one-on-one, she ain't got it. It's going to Baszler.
Yeah, Ember Moon's not going to retain the title. I think she's coming up soon too.
So I think we'll wait.
It would just be a matter of who takes the title from.
Probably Baszler. And then the NXT Championship, Andrade Cien Almas taking on Aleister Black. It's Aleister's day, right?
It's got to be, because I think Almas is coming up too.
Everybody's coming up.
All the champions are. They need to drop their titles.
Join the conga line. We're going to the main
era.
roster. Yeah, I think it's Aleister Black's time. I love him. I really want him to hold this title before he gets up to the main roster, so please just give it to him. Then let Cien and Zelina go up. I'm fine with that. I say there's 4 matches. I don't know. I feel like we have to get a Johnny Gargano versus the evil devil. Even if it's an unsanctioned match, that feels like a pay-per-view blow-off. I don't know.
I really don't know. I would have thought it would have been announced by now. I really don't know anymore.
We'll wait and see. There's been like attacks in parking lots. There's been a lot of stuff. I'm gonna assume that this match happens. The fact that we only have 4 on the card, we can probably fit the 5th. It's doable. So I'm a believe it happens, and I'm gonna believe that Gargano wins, even though he's got 1 up every single time.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's interesting.
You've read something interesting. What you got?
Apparently John Cena is going to be playing Duke Nukem in a movie.
From NXT TakeOver to Duke Nukem. Yeah, it's a thing. It's another acting role. I don't see him sticking around after WrestleMania too much. Oops. Oh, okay. We're going to mention this. We're at time. We're over time. I'm going to have to edit this show down, but it just popped up. According to this 4 hours ago, the WWE app pushed out a push notification that the Usos New Day Bludgeon Brothers match is going to be a TLC match. And there's a dog.
Yeah. Wow. That's a huge announcement.
It's not going to be a pre-show if it's a TLC match.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's the main show. That's the main card.
We're going to treat this as rumor until next week. but it's huge news. Just wanted to mention it. For once, we got in before the news broke. Radio, well, that is all we got time for. It's been great talking to you.
Maybe.
You visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WrestlingRadio, Twitter page, twitter.com/WrestlingRadio. Next week, we're going to do this huge WrestleMania preview show, and it's going to be long. Prepare yourself.